We want to, obviously our starts of games need to be better. There's areas of our game that we know we need to be better, whether it's checking or being able to sustain a little bit more in the offensive zone. We've been getting wins, but we know we got another level to get to be able to get our game to where we want it down this final stretch.
It's March 9th, and you're playing for first place. This is something that doesn't happen around here very often. How do you guys feel going into this game, knowing you win it, you're back in first place, and you're in a first place battle tonight?
Yeah, we're a very confident team. We're very excited. Obviously, it's a great position to be in. We didn't get here by accident. We got here through hard work and playing within our details. And we know that in order for us to take that next step, we have to, continue to push ourselves, continue to get better. It's not a place where we're complacent with our game or complacent with the position we're in. We want to push for more.
Darnell, speaking of your goaltenders, like Matty asked you about, just what are they giving you right now, especially Mikko, with the last couple of starts he's gotten and looking like he's going to go tonight? Yeah, both of them have been outstanding. Any time that we've given up a big opportunity, really, in big times of games, they've made some huge saves. And with that said, you want to limit what you give up, but over the course of a 60-minute game, teams are going to get opportunities and get chances, no matter who you're playing against. And those guys have been huge in those moments.
Darnell, the last few years, the penalty kill has really struggled, and it's the whole year now. It's been right at the top, and I think since the All-Star break, you're at 91%. You're on the penalty kill up. What has changed? Like, it can't just be the system. What's changed with the guys in front?
Well, I mean, you look at some of the additions that Kenny and the staff brought in over the course of summer, like Archie and Shea. They go out there at the beginning of each and every penalty kill, and they're the guys you can rely on every time we're down the man. So our systems have changed a little bit, but Jimmy's his preaching of the details and where we need to be on the ice. Everything's very black and white. There's no real gray areas, and I think that everyone's bought in. Obviously, each system that we've played over the course of even like the last 4 years, our penalty kill hasn't been great. They've been great systems. They've been taught well, but our buy-in probably hasn't been where it needs to be. And this year, you're seeing the result when we believe in and trust in each other.
So where did that come from? Where's the change in the buy-in? Who are the guys who facilitated that?
It's a group effort. It's everyone from the forwards back to the goaltender. Good. Sweet.
We're going to try to do a quick.
Talk about the virus, and we're not allowed in the dressing room anymore. How you feel about that?
To be honest, it's kind of a lot to take in lately. It seems like I just saw this morning. I think it was Indian Wells that got canceled, and South by Southwest in Austin got canceled. So. Obviously, people are taking precautionary on health and for the right reason. So, I think for us as players, we just try to be careful, follow the rules, and we're hopeful it doesn't get around the league. I think that's our main request, not request, but our hope. And just for everyone's safety in the community here, we're kind of just playing it by ear and seeing what it takes us. But advise everyone to be careful with their loved ones, and that's where we're at.
How would you had to play a game with nobody in the building if they got to that? You've ever done that before?
Yeah, no, I've never done that. I was talking to Gaetan Haas. He was telling me that the Swiss League has canceled games, I think, until March 15th. And then they played their last regular season game. Some of the teams had to play with no fans, and some of the games were on the line. So hope it doesn't get down to that. At this point in the season, I think, home ice with our schedule, I think it can help us playing at home. And again, it seems like there's a lot going on, and the league has have to take decisions.
Getting back to hockey, this is a team that hasn't played a lot of first place games on March 9th. This has got to be an exciting time for the team, even though there's still lots of hockey left to play, but you're playing for first place tonight. How do you feel about going into this game?
Yeah, we've come a long way this year as a team. You look where we're at in training camp and how where our team is now. Some of the addition, new guys, some of the new guys have fit in well within our group. Our game hasn't been our best in the last 2-3 games here, but good teams find a way to get points at this time of the year. So obviously the magnitude of the game tonight, we've played these guys a few times this year. They've been both good games, good intensity, and kind of expect the same tonight. So it's a good opportunity for us as a team. It's a team that's been doing well in the last 2 years in the league. So it's a good challenge for us to see what we can do tonight.
Alex, can you talk about your own game this year? Last year you were scoring 20 goals. This year you've got 10. How have you thought your game is compared to last year?
I think, there was a point last year where, I was kind of riding hot. Seemed like everything I was touching was finding back in the net at the right spot, at the right moment. So, as a player, you try to find that. Try to find ways to get back to that. I thought, the last 17 games, I try to analyze my game. I thought I've had my chances, and it seems like lately it's been going in a little bit more. So I think there's a stats. It's like 85% of my goals have come within 10 feet. So that's always a good reminder for me. I take pride in my job on the power play. I know sometimes you don't always get rewarded for being around the net, but try to help our unit out, and I know those guys appreciate that as well, and they look for me in different plays. So I think my game is going well lately, and it's the right time in the year. You want to be playing with confidence in March and hopefully heading into the playoffs. So that's where I'm at.
Alex, the power play is one thing, but your line had both 5-on-5 goals, got the lead last game. Yourself and James, veteran wingers, and then Jujar, just a big, heavy line. You've been on Washington. Depth is important in the playoffs. Can you talk how the game changes and how at times maybe size becomes more of a factor, in the more physical games?
Yeah, I think, size helps. We're three guys that can protect the puck and, hang on to it. I think just experience too also. Neeler's a guy that's been a lot in these types of games. Teams at this point in the year, they play tight defensively. They don't give you much. So you got to find ways to break that down. And I think I've learned some of that in the past few years. And same thing with Neeler. He's actually a really smart guy on the ice. He's got good visions on different things, how to break down coverage and things like that. So we fit well together. It's nice to get rewarded. I thought our game in Dallas was a good step last night. The other day was nice to get rewarded. So get our group, our line. Hopefully we keep going some chemistry and help the team down.
Alex, juste tu peux revenir sur la première question, sur comment tu réagis par rapport à ce qui se passe avec le virus, la fermeture du vestiaire pour les médias. Comment tu vois la situation présentement?
Oui, c'est sûr, c'est pas évident. Évidemment, il y a beaucoup de choses qui se passent, que ce soit au Canada ou aux États-Unis, partout dans le monde. Donc, je pense que ce qui est important, c'est vraiment essayer de prendre soin de nous autres, faire attention, écouter ce que les gens ont à nous dire. Donc, c'est là qu'on est présentement. C'est pas quelque chose qui est facile à digérer ou quelque chose qui est dur, qui est facile à s'occuper. Donc, on fait attention, puis c'est un petit peu différent là, dans les derniers jours.
Comment tu réagirais si tu devais jouer devant des gradins vides, comme ça s'est fait en Europe?
C'est sûr, c'est pas la situation idéale. Évidemment, il y a la Ligue nationale, c'est eux autres qui prennent les décisions, sont là pour la santé des joueurs, la santé de la communauté. Donc, c'est des choses on y va jour le jour. Puis, je pense qu'en tant que joueur, on n'espère pas que ça se rend à ce point-là.
Is Connor McDavid sick?
He hasn't felt well for a few days, but hopefully feeling better.
And your goaltending, will you just keep riding the same guy who's been playing well?
You know what? He's played really well the last few games. We talked about it and decided to go back with him tonight. He was a big reason why we got points the other night, so might as well keep going with him.
One more on the lines. You'll just still have Nugent Hopkins with Connor? Will you go back to that line?
I didn't mind. I thought Leo's line, Enzo, actually was pretty good there. Connor had the late goal on that line off a good forecheck, so we'll see how it goes.
Dave, you mentioned you hope. So is he a game-time decision, McDavid, or do you expect him to play tonight?
No, I think he'll play. I'm hoping he'll play, but we'll see how it goes.
The Chase on Neal, both guys, they've been in Stanley Cup Finals. Chase on won it, big, heavy guys. You put that line together, and they were really the difference offensively. What have you liked from that trio?
You know what? They're veteran guys, a veteran-heavy line, and we're trying to build, kind of some depth into things. And you get a line like that, you get into hard games where they can have an impact, and they're three, pretty smart players. All three of them have touched special teams with us, but they play we're trying to get them to play a big, heavy, physical game and get pucks to the net. And they did that the other night, and they were rewarded for it. So, we're just trying some different things, but they've been all right.
So there's been some games recently where the shot clock's been tilted with the other team getting more of the shots. What are you actually seeing from the quality of scoring chances, and is it?
There's been a couple games where the shots have been abnormal, but the chances have been similar. Last game wasn't the case. There was too many chances with the shots. But there was a couple games, like the Winnipeg game was pretty tight here until the last 4 or 5 minutes, and they had, I think, 8 or 9 attempts with their goalie pulled and on a power play there. So that one kind of got ramped up a little bit from a situational stuff. But the last game was shots, chances, all out of whack that will have to be way better tonight.
So do you think it's mental errors or just not being able to get the momentum back in a game? Where is it coming?
There's some. Last game, I thought we didn't check very well, and we didn't manage the puck very well. Which, when you do that, you spend too much time in your own end. You don't allow yourself to go to the offensive end and spend time down there. And if you don't check well enough, that usually ends up to shots and opportunities at your own net. And both those were big key factors last game.
I know you haven't, over here, you haven't been here just for the season. Connor has a history of always playing through injury, playing through sickness, but he's never the same player. No one is when they're playing with the flu. Do you ever consider just saying, take a couple games off, get well? Or is Connor at 70% better than whoever you put in there at 100%?
You know what? It really comes down, things like that, it comes down to Connor and it comes down to the doctors. There's times when the doctors just say, hey, it's better for the long run here if he doesn't play. But players usually come in and say, hey, I'm going to play. I mean, that's the players have that mentality in them all the time. So we'll just see how it goes. We're not going to do anything that's going to jeopardize them for moving forward. But most of the time, players want to play.
Dave, Mike Smith's played a lot since the calendar flipped, but Mikko's been outstanding lately. Is it fair to say that when Mikko's back is against the wall a little bit, that's when his best game comes out?
I don't know. I mean, as a coach, you expect them to play well all the time. I mean, you always have confidence in a guy. Sometimes goaltenders, they get on a roll a little bit. They just get in there and they feel good. They're not thinking a lot. They just play, and they play well. So from our perspective, you're just trying to make sure you're maximizing each guy. And when a guy does get on a bit of a roll, you let him run with it a little bit. So we feel really fortunate. Like right now, I feel like our team needs 2 guys playing well, you know, and if we had to put all this on one guy, just with the scheduling and the intensity of games, you'd see a guy get tired. Right now, we have the luxury of 2 guys playing well, and you know, when a guy plays like he did last game, he deserves another opportunity tonight.
Dave, so it's March 9th here, and you guys are battling a team for first place in the division, very crucial game. When you sat on the same podium here in June, when you came on, did you see this in this group? Would you have believed that you could be here at this point?
Well, you always, I think you can do that, but back then I was still figuring out what we had. You know players, you know the top players, but you don't know where all the parts fit yet. So I think Kenny said it best. We wanted to get into March and play real meaningful games, and I think we've got ourselves in that position now. And if you would have said to me, is it first place, is it whatever, I wasn't really thinking about that. I was trying to think about having a competitive team and earn the right to be a playoff team. And that's where we are right now. And I liked the fact that we're in a game tonight where you're battling a team for a top spot. Our guys should be excited about that.
Dave, how much, I don't know how you could put a percentage on it, but the Oilers' penalty kill has struggled for many years. Obviously, this year it's been really good. Your power plays might be at 30% when it's all said and done. The special team, how much of it is it on the players? How much would you credit your coaching staff to finding systems that work for the guys you have?
Well, I think you got to have a structure, and your players have to believe in it. But ultimately, it's the players that get the job done. Like you can draw stuff on a whiteboard, but it's when you got a guy lay in front of a shot to block a shot out there, those aren't whiteboard things. Those are things that have to get done. So it's the players. The players are the ones that have to execute it. Our power play has been really good, and it's there's some good structure in place, but ultimately you have good players that make good plays. Like there's as much. Gully's got a saying. He goes, we've got some structure, but let's play road hockey after that. We've got some pretty good road hockey players. So, and Jimmy Playfair's done a great job with the PK, just got a real structure. And our guys have bought into taking real ownership of making sure that's a key part of our game that's in place. Our goaltenders have been excellent, which is always your penalty kill has to have good goaltending. The save percentage on the PK is really strong. So we've got a good plan, and our players have played hard to make sure we got the job done.
And 5-on-5 defensively, are you seeing growth in your over 5-on-5 game? Do you like it? What are the areas that you want to see improve down the stretch?
I'd like to see us give up less quality chances, and some of that is just getting the job done, checking-wise. Like we've been, last game there was too many opportunities where we didn't check quick enough and hard enough. And some of that you can, when you watch your team play, there's when you see some fatigue in your team, those are the things that come into play. You don't anticipate as quick. That battle is just not quite hard enough, and so that's where we're going to need to be better tonight if we have a chance to win. All right, thanks.
Just a thought on this whole thing with the virus and the way things are going. How are you guys as players approaching this, and what are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Well, I mean, obviously, you don't wish that on anyone, right? It's obviously a serious matter, so I'm sure the NHL and, the teams itself don't make the right decisions.
You look at back home in Europe, what's going on there. They basically shut down all of northern Italy. They're playing games without any people. Japan just canceled the start of their baseball league, I guess. Do you kind of keep an eye on seeing what's going on there and wonder if that's going to happen?
Yeah, obviously, being from there, I hear about it, people talk about it. It's obviously very serious over there already, too. So, like I said, I think people make the right decisions. I'm not advanced enough to really comment on that right now, so we'll leave it at that.
How would you feel if you had to play games with no fans? If the NHL said, have you ever done that?
I mean, I don't really know, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, the atmosphere would be a little different, would be my guess. But like I said, they'll do what they have to do, and they'll figure it out.
You had two very competitive games against them. How are they different, say, than the team you played the other night against Columbus, or do they play the same sort of style?
Well, they're obviously a pretty fast and heavy team. We've had some good games against them this season. It'll be a good test for us for sure.
When you're playing a team like this, that ideally, if everything goes right, you'll see them in the playoffs. How much of a game like tonight is about measuring up and maybe sending messages and that sort of thing?
Well, we just want to play our game. I think obviously last 2-3 games we haven't really played our best. So I think we just want to come out and get back to setting a high standard for ourselves and just try and go out. Obviously, the main focus is the 2 points, but we want to play a good game. We want to get back to playing our game, and that's the most important.
Getting back to the disease thing for a second, did the team sit you guys down as players and kind of go through some do's and don'ts of things you should and shouldn't do? What else have they kind of told you?
About what?
The virus, coronavirus.
Oh, well, obviously the normal stuff like washing your hands, that kind of stuff, stay away from drinking out of the same water bottles, just like...
Autographs are out? Or
What's that?
Autographs, are they out?
I haven't really heard anything about that, but
yeah, you just got to be smart about it, I think.
Leon, just want to ask you about your goaltenders. They've been stellar for you guys. Just how much confidence has that given the group this year, especially lately with this last little stretch here?
Yeah, I mean, they've been great all year, but especially the last couple of games, they've really given us a chance to win. And, you need that in a season, but you obviously don't want to rely on it. They've won us games this year. I think the power play has won us games. The penalty kill has won us games. 5-on-5 has won us games. So it's a good balance that we've had throughout the year, but you obviously don't want to rely on your goalie to win you every game. So like I said earlier, we got to be better, and we're looking to do that tonight.
Thank you.